we're going to get into a conversation. Actually, a conversation that started last week, and it's about an illness that affects a lot of people, and it's becoming a problem right now, and that is why we are talking about it, and it's about the chronic kidney disease. So we started the conversation last week, and today we're going to be continuing the conversation. And in the studio with me is Mr. Julius Evaime Agbagba, who's a dietitian at the University of Ghana Medical Center. How are you?
I'm very fine. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you. So yesterday we started a conversation, last week actually, we started a conversation about chronic kidney disease, and today we're going to be continuing. Right, just brief us a bit, or let's just say, let's shuffle our memories, especially for those that are joining us for the first time when it comes to this topic. All right, what is chronic kidney disease?
Okay, before I answer your question, I would like to say that, as you said, we've been here some weeks ago, and it's a whole month project by the Ghana Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics to use July as a nutrition month to promote topics that we feel are very important and people should take care of. And this year we are focusing on the chronic kidney disease because more and more people are having to go on dialysis. And when we say chronic kidney disease, it means that the health of the kidney is in such a way that it cannot support its normal functions. The normal functions of the kidney is to remove the waste products from your body. But when there is a breach or when there is a problem or it gets to the point where the kidney is not able to provide these functions or to remove all the toxins from your body, then we call it a chronic kidney disease.
All right, so what are the key dietary factors that can help in preventing chronic kidney disease, and why are they important?
So for the key dietary factors, it has to do with what you eat and then the lifestyle as well. When it comes to what you eat, we are seeing more and more people eating food from outside. And when you eat food from outside, you don't have control over what goes into it. So you see the foods being more in sodium, in saturated fats.
Salt?
Salt, sodium. In saturated fats, which is like not very healthy for our body. And a lot of proteins, because funny enough, people are, becoming more economically viable. They are earning more, so they have more purchasing power. So people are deviating from our traditional meals to the Western, so-called Western kind of meals.
Right. So does protein actually have anything to do with the Western meals?
Yes, it does.
Like?
Yes, it does, because some of the Western meals come with a lot of protein. For some people, it's just bad habits, because they feel when we were young, we were not able to take a lot of protein. And your mother says, don't worry, when you grow up, you start doing your own work, you can buy your own fish, you can buy your own meat. So you see people eating more meat. At an age or at a stage where they don't really require it.
Like when people buy like a bowl of fufu, there's more meat than actually the actual fufu sometimes.
So
is that a good thing?
We don't even call it meat, we call it zoo. You have a whole zoo. Yes. It's not a good thing. It's actually a bad practice.
It's a bad practice,
yes,
right?
Because when you look at, earlier this year, the dietary-based guidelines for, Ghanaian foods was outlawed, and there's a picture of an asanka inside. So meat should rather take 1/5 of your plate. So
basically, like one piece of meat is enough.
Not one meat, maybe about 2 to 3 matchbox sizes of meat, or when it is
matchbox.
Matchbox sizes, yeah.
Small matchboxes that we know.
Yeah.
So this size.
About 2 to 3 of that.
Okay. Yeah.
Or a half size palm of fish.
So this.
Yes.
Wow.
So when people sit down and they are eating full tilapia, it's not a very good idea.
It's not a sign of big manism.
No.
Because people think it's a sign of big manism.
No,
so that's life of big manism that you're trying to lead can actually cause you problems.
It can. And it's funny because when you go to the Western countries that we are practicing, some of the people who eat these foods are actually the people either in the lower classes, the poor people. You see them doing more of the meats, doing more of the fast foods. But when you come to Ghana, it's the other way around.
It's the other way around.
Yeah.
You know, because I have money, let me try some fast foods. Wow. Okay. So what are some of the possible or common dietary mistakes that we make at home, apart from these ones that you've just named?
Okay, so at home, some of the mistakes we make is, I mean, when it comes to food, is one, I mentioned putting in too much salt in your food, eating too much meat. And then there's also the issue where people don't drink enough water. Yeah. So they are not well hydrated.
We talked about that last week. Yeah.
Meanwhile, your kidneys depend a lot on water to remove any kind of toxins in your body. Yeah. Then there are people who take alcohol. Research is showing that no level of alcohol is safe for you. So when you are somebody who is already drinking, be advised that you reduce it. Right. And when you are not yet there, please don't start. Okay. Yeah, please don't start. It's not very healthy. And we should eat more at home. And we should stop skipping meals. There are people who probably because of any kind of diet they want to practice, they try to skip their meals and put a lot of pressure on their body, and this is not good.
So when you say put a lot of pressure, what do you mean? Do you mean like when you skip meals, the time that you are now supposed to eat or the time you decide to eat, you tend to pack up a lot? Okay. Is that what you mean?
Okay, so there's a backstory to that.
Okay.
When it comes to chronic kidney disease, there's a direct link of food to chronic kidney disease. But then the highest, I mean, the more culprits of chronic kidney disease are diabetes and hypertension. Now, when you are skipping your meals, you are putting yourself at a risk of developing diabetes. You are putting yourself at a risk of developing hypertension. You are putting yourself at a risk of developing high cholesterol levels. And all these are risk factors to developing chronic kidney disease. So when we are looking at the topic chronic kidney disease, we are also focusing on the likelihood of preventing people from getting these conditions. Yeah. And when they already have, we try to minimize their risk of developing chronic kidney disease.
Okay, so basically, as you're teaching this, you're also teaching us ways to protect ourselves, not to get probably hypertension or diabetes. Yeah. And if you already have any of those two right now, you're now teaching of ways not to get CKD.
Exactly.
Wow. So it's like a 3-in-1 course right now.
It's not so simple.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when you look at the kidney in its entirety, the kidney helps to regulate your blood pressure. When your kidneys are failing, or when your blood pressure is high with or without the kidney, it also leads to the kidney breaking down. Right. Yeah.
All right.
So all these things are linked.
Okay, so let's talk about water, staying hydrated. Obviously, you said staying hydrated is very important. And tell us, in a day, how many, what's the limit of water we should be drinking? Because sometimes you can overdo. So what's the right limit?
Okay, so the right limit depends on who is drinking the water.
I am.
Okay, so if you are drinking the water, you are, of course, in the corporate space. You are not doing any hard work. You are in AC. You are not sweating or all those things. So I think 2 to 3 liters of water would do, which is when you take the sachet, pure water sachet. That's about 4 to 6 of it.
A day?
Yeah.
A day.
Yes.
And what about people out there, like people building, people doing hard labor jobs and stuff like that?
So for people who are doing hard labor jobs, or maybe for athletes or sportsmen, it means that they will need more. They will need maybe about 4 to 5 liters, depending on how much they are losing, because they are sweating, they are using a lot of energy, and the body also requires this water to cool down the system. So they would require more water than somebody who is sitting in the office.
So now, what about someone that sits in the office? I'm asking, especially for people like me, what about someone that sits in the office, leaves the office, and in the evening becomes very athletic because I have to go to the gym? How many do I need?
Yes, so you can do about 3 liters.
Right.
Yeah, but so here's the thing. People need to plan how they take their water.
Water is also planned.
At the moment where you are feeling thirsty, it is the body trying to tell you that you are starving me of water.
Right.
So it means that you need to have it planned during the day, like as to, even when you are not thirsty, you take water. But let me make a quick this, correction. When we say 2 to 3 liters, it's not necessarily only water.
I was going to ask that.
Yes.
Does tea also count?
Tea counts, your soups, your drinks.
Anything liquid, but healthy liquid.
Healthy liquid, yeah, they all count.
Right.
Yeah, they all count towards the 2 to 3
So when we say healthy liquid, do you see maybe tea? Let's not talk about tea. Well, a lot of people know tea in the Ghanaian context as anything that you just put milk and you understand. Yeah. But tea is tea. Tea has to be a bit herbal and stuff. Yeah. But let's take tea in the Ghanaian context where it's hot chocolate drink. That's tea for some people.
Oh, let's
you
say
put
beverage.
A lot of, well, beverages, you put a lot of milk, you put a lot of sugar. Is that also part of it?
It's not a very good practice because some other things that could hurt your kidneys are when you are taking things that are high in sugar. Whew. So let's say when you take some of the, beverages on the market, they are already mixed with sugar and then mixed with milk. So you don't necessarily have to add extra sugar. But you see people, they'll take a very small cup, put about 2 to 3 sachets of these beverages, and then add water and add milk again. And for them, it's good living. Yeah. It's a recipe for disaster.
It seems like a lot of things that we do that looks like big manism is a problem. Like drinking very rich beverage, sugar, milk, strong one, and then eats a bowl of food, a zoo. You know, it seems like they're all
it's an issue of education, and it's part of the reasons why we are embarking on this. Because if we as dietitians don't do this, then we create a vacuum where other non-professionals come in and they preach to people all sorts of superfoods and making them more less healthy and putting them more at risk. So that's why the Ghana Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics is championing these events, and we have done a lot of seminars. And even outside the Nutrition Month, we try to do a lot of radio shows, TV sessions. Just that people don't give us enough time, but the little time we have, we are able to reach out to people. And the Ghanaian population is also becoming more educated.
I like the way you say we don't give you enough time.
Oh, so
that one if we do not give you enough time, so what are you doing outside the time that we give you to actually help the people? Do you go out there to offices and maybe talk to people? Do you hold seminars and invite other stakeholders?
Yes, we do all those things. So I mentioned that we do the radio shows. We do, public speaking in churches, in social gatherings. Right. We do social media outreach, and we do some level of advocacy as well. One of the most recent ones is our fight against sugar-sweetened beverages, where we are asking government to, at the policy level, because sometimes when the thing gets to the market, the person buys what he or she can afford.
Exactly.
So at the policy level, if we are able to make or sanctify the market to make healthy things more accessible, cheaper for people to be able to afford, then they'll be able to make the better decisions.
Right. Yeah. All right. So if you're watching us right now, you have any questions, all you need to do is send in your messages via the WhatsApp number on the screen, and then we get to ask him the questions you want to know about chronic kidney disease or CKD. So send in your messages and we'll read it on the show. All right. Now, you're laughing at me. I really have a lot of questions. I really have a lot of questions when it comes to CKD. You talked about protein. Too much of protein can be a problem. So now, what are the right nutrients that we actually need if too much of protein is going to be a problem? Because as kids growing up, they told us protein is important. And as adults, when you're working out, especially if you're a sports person and an athlete, they're like, you need to take so amount of proteins, to keep on going or to build muscles, especially. And especially people who want to build, bulk up. Yeah. So now, what is the right nutrient that we are supposed to be taking?
Well, that's so many questions in there. But I would like to start from here. So for every human being, what you need is a balanced diet. And a balanced diet means that there should be portions of the various nutrients in your food.
Right.
When I say the various nutrients, it means that the food should come from the various food groups. You should have something from cereals, you should have something from legumes, from the oil, from the meat, I mean the fishes, and also from fruits and vegetables.
Right.
Now, when you look at the plates, the healthy eating plates, fruits and vegetables are supposed to make a quarter of your plate.
Right.
But unfortunately, when you get to our homes, what do you see? You see a very big bowl of
carbs,
rice.
Yeah, more of carbs.
With small stew on top. Do you get it? Which is not supposed to be so. So when we say cereals, we have the wheat, we have the corns, we have the millets, and all these are really healthy sources of nutrients for us because they do not only provide the carbohydrates, they also provide the micronutrients like the vitamins and minerals as well, which are very essential for our well-being. Now, when you get to the proteins we usually get from our chicken, our beef, our pork, our eggs and fish, and also we get some proteins from like legumes, like the nuts or the beans that we have. So all these need to be in your food. Then the fats, you know, you have the vegetable oil, the olive oil, the other fat sources of food like the agushi and all those things. They are all excellent sources of fat. Right. The focus is to get the healthy sources of these things. Right, right. Because let's say in a typical home, maybe I'm an Ewe, so in a typical Ewe home, you may want to go for akple and fetri.
I knew that was the first thing you would say.
Of course, that's what makes us the best. So you may want to go for that, but you see, our generation, or as we are becoming more westernized, we feel that all these things are for poor people. So we'd rather go out and eat the fried yam. I'm sorry, not fried
the fries.
Yam. The French fries. French fries. To eat probably pizza or like some of these unhealthy choices of foods. And what is even making it more difficult is that if you're a young man and you're going out with a lady, if you don't take the lady out to buy pizza, then you are not current. Do you get it? But if ladies would rather encourage their boyfriends to buy them apples, maybe we'll go back to the Garden of Eden. Don't you think so?
No.
No, because Eve gave Adam apple, and we are here.
Well, if we go back to the Garden of Eden, things might happen
Things
again.
may become better. That's just by the way. But it also paints the picture that we need to, I mean, when we take things like, so let me take you from the various macronutrients. For like, let's say when you want carbohydrates from your brown rices are healthier than the more refined rices. If you're not sure the brown rice, you can mix your rice with wheat. Carbohydrates from corn is okay. Yeah. Carbohydrates from wheat is also okay. But when the wheat is refined to do pizza, then it becomes a problem. Or to do meat pie or pastries or cakes, it becomes a problem. Right. When you look at fats from the seeds is healthy or natural sources of fat is healthy. But when you have saturated fat,
it becomes a problem.
Fat that is solid at room temperature, then it becomes a problem. Right. When we take proteins, we want you to go for the healthy plant sources of proteins, or to go for the lean meat without the fats, or to go for fishes, because fishes are high in omega-3, which actually help to cleanse your blood or like help to reduce inflammation in your system. Right. So these are like healthy options that we can make. Okay. Yeah. All
right. So before I let you go, we have some questions here. Okay. What is the best diet to keep a healthy leanness? There's always the saying of eat a lot to gain weight. So what is the best diet if you want to still be lean without eating a lot?
If you want to still be lean, you know what makes you fat? It could be food or it could be other related factors. For some people, they grow fat under stress. Yeah. But when you want to be sure what to eat, I think the best thing to do is to see a dietitian, because they can maybe assess your weight, assess your food intake, and be able to tell you the exact thing. But for the general public or for public health, for the essence of public health, usually when you eat more than you require, or when you probably eat foods that give you a lot of energy, like the refined carbohydrates and the high sources of fat, and you don't burn them, or you are living a sedentary life, or you are not exercising, then yeah,
being in one
you will grow
position.
fat.
That's a
Yeah.
problem. Okay. All right. So we actually have another question here. Hello, Chris. What about those of us who love our beans with egg, avocado, red oil, gari, etc.? Is there a cause of alarm? That's Daniel from Teshi.
So in all things, it depends on, somebody can love kobe and red oil and avocado, but for all you know, the portions that the person is taking is not much.
So portion control.
Yeah, so portion control is very necessary.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, we have, is brown sugar actually helpful in mitigating sugar intake, or is it a scam that I keep hearing? And another one says, hi, some say eating banana and granules is a bad meal. How true is it? So we have two questions here, brown sugar and banana.
So let me start from the banana and granules. So banana is a fruit. It gives you, potassium, it gives you carbohydrates, and granite is a nut. When you combine these two together, you will get a balanced meal.
That's a good one.
But the issue is that sometimes people overeat it. Because it will interest you to know that the amount of energy that you may get from, 4 regular fingers of banana, you may get the same amount of energy from 1 bowl of banku.
Right.
Yes, but the 4 fingers of banana may not satisfy you. So you may want
Crave
to eat more.
Yeah.
But when you eat 1 bowl of banku, I think you'll be better off. So the danger is that we can't say that it is a bad food. And we can't also say that it's a superfood. The whole idea is that you should eat it in the right proportions.
Right. So brown sugar?
So brown sugar, there's a lot of debate about brown sugar.
Because some say brown sugar comes from sugar cane, so it's more natural.
So the idea about brown sugar is the fact that it is not as refined as the white sugar.
Yeah.
Just like brown rice, white rice, it's not as refined as the... But the danger too is that for the regulation of some of these markets is not so good. There have been issues where people just added dye to the sugar to become brown sugar. So when people want to make healthier choices, whether brown or white, just take it in moderation.
So today everything we've just learned is take everything in moderation.
Because that's the basis of everything. You know, the danger, when I sit here and I say, oh, A, B, C, D is good. I remember, let me tell you a funny story. I remember we went for a program and I was like, oh, when you look at the organs in the body, right, the shape of the food determines the organ that they help. So like the kidney, the beans, because we're talking about chronic kidney. And one guy went out and was just eating banana.
Oh.
So you can imagine what he's trying to achieve.
Yeah, I understand
so
that. Anyway, Julius, it was really nice having this conversation with you. How can people reach out to you in case they want to reach out to you? And I'm sure a lot of people have more questions out there and probably haven't sent it. So what if they want to reach out to you? How can they reach out to you?
I'm just a member of the dietitians and the nutritionists in Ghana. And when people want, professional advice, they should visit the nearest hospital where there is a dietitian.
Any social media handle they can actually follow?
Yeah, so we have the official Gant.
Gant, yeah.
So that's our official social media platform. But I personally work at the University of Ghana Medical Center.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Julius.
You're welcome.
I'm going to drink water after talking to you.